The top 10 reasons a business is successful in Roatan, Honduras. We just talked about the 10 biggest issues I see with businesses and why they do not do as well as they maybe could with, well, appropriate expectations. But let's talk about the 10 best features I see with the most successful businesses in Roatan, Honduras. First and foremost, this is for a business anywhere, is get back up. Running a business is very, very hard. You're gonna get knocked down many times. Roatan, it's one of those places that's gonna knock you down a little bit more than most. You just have to get back up. I know it sounds easy, I know it sounds simple. Many do not do it, or they get knocked down one too many times and quit before they give the business an opportunity to actually succeed. And I'm coming from a place where I've screwed up a lot of businesses. I've done fairly well with some businesses in the United States and Roatan, Honduras. I get knocked down all of the time, and what makes me a success, or when I'm being successful, are the days that I decide to get back up. Number 2 is business owners that set appropriate expectations, because we are a little island with a population of 110,000 with a lot of tourists, or thousands of tourists every single day. We need to set appropriate expectations and not the same expectations for somewhere else. I'm specifically talking about Roatan, Honduras. I'm not talking about Utila. I'm not talking about Guanaja. I'm not talking about the mainland of Honduras. Specifically Roatan, and expectations need to be appropriate. We also have to work very, very hard because of the small population. Well, there's many reasons we have to work hard, but setting appropriate expectations and not being too hard on yourself. It is really hard to run a business here. And I'm not saying don't do it. I do it. But I've also quit 4 times and left and gotten mad, but I do come back, which is what many people do. But setting expectations from the start is going to, it's going to make your mental health a lot better, and you're going to enjoy running your business, living the dream on an island so much better. Number 3 is when business owners set appropriate timelines, or realistic timelines. We live on an island. Island time is some mythical time that, I don't know, sometimes it's fast, sometimes it's slow. It's whichever you don't want usually happens. Mañana is a concept here that means really anything other than what you want it to mean. So, it's just things move slowly. Do you have a business that, you need to be able to adapt your business based on, things are gonna happen when they happen, and if you try to push something, it's just not gonna work. Number 4, to make a business success in Roatan, Honduras, having multiple points or multiple contingencies and never having a single point of failure. Meaning, if you have a business and it depends on one single person other than you're the business owner, that's just life. We are at the end of the day, when it rolls downhill, it all comes to us. But we want to make sure that there's not a single point, like you depend on this one person to get something that is instrumental for your business to succeed. That is a recipe for disaster. So instead of having one person, I like to have 4 or 5 just contingencies. They might not all be equal, but they all let your business run, and you do not shut your business down or do not have anything that's going to prevent you from thriving based off a single person or a single point of failure. I like to have multiple backups, contingencies. I've got so many plans, and what's nice in Roatan, Honduras, having a plan A, B, and C, it's not a vertical scale, it's a horizontal scale. So if A doesn't work out, B's still good, C, D, E, F. That's how you have to think about it. Just because one doesn't work doesn't mean another won't. So plan for multiple contingencies, because it's gonna hit the fan. It always hits the fan. That's just how Roatan works, and it's kind of the price for, getting to live on this beautiful island. Number 5, we kind of talked about this with the screwing up with businesses, knowing the laws, being able to depend on your team, building a team. Any business I've had in the United States or in Roatan, the team matters. Like, the people that work with me, they are the most important part of the business, and that can make or break your business. Active construction site over here in Sandy Bay, lots of construction going on. Anyway, your team and knowing the employment laws and knowing them right off the bat is going to save you a lot of hassle, and make sure you are doing them correctly. Number 6, we did talk about having contingencies, having multiple different points, but also, are you able to pivot? If the first thing you try just is not going to work out, can you pivot your business? Do you have multiple pivot plans? Because, well, if at first you don't succeed, try again. Most businesses, when they start, they are not the same as what I see today. Most of them have made strategic pivots after a certain amount of time. Time does work differently here. I like to give things 3 years, but I know with a few of my businesses, I definitely needed to pivot, needed to change the business plan, kept it very fluid. So being able to pivot and not being ultra rigid in your plan, because I don't think anyone's business has gone exactly how they planned it, assuming that you have a plan, which is another thing that's very, very important, but being able to pivot and being a little fluid. So do not lock yourself or pinhole yourself into something which is just like the single point of failure. You need to be able to move when you need to move and do what you need to do to make sure your business is running successfully. Number 7, this is a big one. Learn how to check your ego. I know, I struggle with this almost on a daily basis. Life will be much better when you know how to check your ego. I know it sounds super easy. I would never well, it is very important. I should put this in a how-to for the United States, but it's especially important in Roatan, Honduras, where it can just, some days, some things are better than others because you are going to be dealing with a lot of egos. Egos aren't going to solve anything, and the faster you learn how to check yours, the better life is going to be. It's just going to make your business and life so much better. Number 8, understanding the cultural differences between Roatan and wherever you are coming from. And it's really, at the end of the day, respecting Roatan, the Bay Islands, the culture here, and not necessarily bringing in your own culture or thinking that you can do something better. It's not necessarily better, it's just different. It kind of goes back to the checking your ego. The Bay Islands is a wonderful place, rich in culture, and if you start, and all the businesses that are doing well do respect Roatan for what it is, for the culture that we have, and we can kind of intertwine your new business into the current culture and not trying to just bulldoze and just be a know-it-all, because, well, we have a lot of those here and I don't think anybody really likes them. Number 9 is defining what you actually want from your business. Is this going to be a lifestyle business? Is this going to be, are you going to run a restaurant? Are you going to run something on the first level? Are you going to live on the second level? Are you planning to retire? Do you want to start something and exit? Having a game plan, a full business plan seems like a foreign concept sometimes, but having a full business plan, including an exit strategy or your long-term, I guess your end goal is a better way to put it. And that will help, that's going to help with your mental health so much, because as I said, that you just have to work harder here. It is a little island. Things do get tough. And the successful business owners, they make it look easy, but I can assure you, no one had an easy time. It's hard. You're gonna want to quit. It's the price for living in paradise. And the last thing, we've talked about island time. Don't be hasty. Things just take a little bit longer in Roatan if you're looking to exit, if you're looking to make money. Things just take longer, and they are a lot more expensive to start and continue to build than most people think. We do have a saying here where if you want to leave Roatan a millionaire, come with 2. That is tried and true. Many people follow that path because they do not follow all of the, well, they usually don't give the business time. They're not able to pivot. All the things that we talked about that we see with all the successful businesses. You just kind of have to do those there and understand that time just works differently in Roatan, Honduras. And the last piece of advice, where I'm highly biased on this, being a realtor investor in Roatan, is, does your business have something tangible? I like real estate. That's pretty darn tangible. Do you own the building? Do you own the land? What do you actually own with it? Or is it just your brand? That is something that, even if you are running a lifestyle business, it's always nice to have multiple contingencies, like we talked about earlier. Maybe one day you're like, I'm out, I need to go. And you've spent years and years, 10, 15 years on this beautiful business. And at the end of the day, you want something to speak for that more than just reputation. You need to have something that's tangible and figure out what that tangible item is, whether it's to sell, to pass down. Having tangible assets, and assets, not liabilities, huge difference there, are, well, can make a business very successful, have a wonderful lifestyle, or make your life almost a living hell. So thank you all for tuning in on that positive note. Thank you for tuning in. Please chime in with the comments. I certainly don't know everything, and I'd love to hear your opinions.